Spinning.
Rolling.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
What? Keep on rolling, rolling. Remember that band? Remember Limp Bizkit? Try to forget, but
Oh my god.
I always thought it was Limp Bisquick. I always thought it was like a pancake thing, but never mind. Edit that shit out.
So, like pancakes cooked rare.
Yes, exactly. I think that's just called batter. Swing batter, batter, batter.
It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show.
So we're talking about your restaurant experiences,
Yes.
and I wonder, like, I wonder how a restaurant manager handles the whole cleanliness kind of situation. Because you guys, you know, if you are the owner of a restaurant, did you have any experiences where you had to get your like certification or whatever from like the health people? Or
Not when I was an owner, but when I was a manager of several places, I had to go to like a Serve Safe class and get, you know, I've been certified quite a bit over the years, but for my restaurant, it wasn't a requirement, no.
was it like a situation where you at least got inspected a handful of times?
Well, yeah, you always have the health inspection, and yeah, that's always like a...
It's a scary day, I
Oh,
guess.
yeah, it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter how clean you are, and don't get me wrong, I could have been a lot cleaner. We'll just leave it at that.
Just give me a pause because I just want to.
Okay.
I want to get in here.
Where were we?
So yeah, you have to get the health inspection every so often, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, and it's frightening.
yeah.
It's scary, yeah.
Is it annual or?
I forget if it was annual or every 6 months. I think it was annual.
But it's that frequently.
No, yeah, it's definitely that frequently. Yeah. Yeah, it's not.
I'm sorry. I only asked because with everything going on right now, I mean, by the time you guys all watch this, we will all have been quarantined in our homes
Yes,
because of this frightful flu.
the world will have ended.
Actually,
What is it? The more
our views will have gone up tremendously because everyone is stuck sitting in their fucking room.
is it the Miller Lite virus or the Coors Light
Yeah,
virus?
that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, of course. What, was there another one that I didn't?
I'm pretty sure there's a Yingling virus. There's coronavirus. That's what it is.
Is it Corona Light? Or
Corona.
do you have the full-bodied Corona?
I'm pretty sure that if you have Corona Light virus, I think it's less bad.
It's something you can beat.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
get
I think
through
so.
it.
Yeah.
We're going to get through this.
Yeah. I just miss those times man, where I didn't have to wash my hands.
I mean, growing up, I was always like under the impression that you know, boys playing in the mud like actually built up your immunity, and it was helpful that, you know, you would have you know, antibodies built up that would fight these kind of things just because you weren't afraid to get dirty.
Yeah. Well, you always get sick of those people that use Purell 5 times a day.
Right.
Right.
Because they haven't had anything in their system to kind of like to fight it off when something comes along. And but it reminded me of a story about speaking of washing hands, because that's all they've said for a couple of weeks is, listen, we know this is a worldwide panic moment, and the answer is wash your fucking hands. Right? Yes. So, like, why that needed to be said? Why why weren't you washing your hands already, you fucking dirtbag? Like, what are you talking about?
That's all we get. That's all we get. Just wash your hands.
Just wash your hands, man.
Is it a media hype? What do you think?
I mean, yes, I do think it's being hyped up a little bit because of some of the channels that are that are telling the story. Even though the World Health Organization is weighing in on this and whatnot, I do think that there's a certain level of overhyping for scare tactics, and I know it's going to be used as some kind of like a political tool in some way.
Of course, isn't everything?
Which sucks. By the time this comes out on YouTube, I think we will have already been past it. Honest to God.
Yeah. I hope so. I'm gonna knock on wood. You got a lot of it here.
For the sake of conversation, though, I did want to touch on moments that you wish you had washed your hands and you hadn't, or moments when you absolutely fucking knew if you didn't wash your hands, you were gonna have a problem. Does anything come to mind?
Oh. I don't think anything that I can actually say right now. I mean, yes. We'll just say yes.
God.
I feel like you have.
Oh, you don't have.
I'm struggling to find a story that I'm comfortable discussing in public because I want to save some face just in case I do ever get to buy another restaurant. I want people to eat there. So I just want to be, use a little discretion on when I should have washed my hands and didn't.
I mean, I'm just saying, we've all, danced on the edge there a little bit from one time or another. But I bring it up because I do have a little thing that it made me think of.
You were telling me.
I was telling you.
But you haven't told me anything yet.
I haven't telling you of the real details. I mean, it's not like a major thing, but it is definitely a I need to wash my hands moment. Bong hits for Jesus. It's a lot of my stories are going to start. Bong hits for Jesus was on a tour. We were in Los Angeles, and we got to play. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. You probably have, maybe not. The legendary Rainbow Room.
Of course.
The Rainbow Grill. It's like right on, I think, Sunset
Strip. Yeah.
Yeah. This is like the legendary rock bar where Kiedis' dad used to sell weed. Lemmy from Motorhead sat at the bar. Our bassist, go ahead.
Scenes from the November Rain video were shot there.
Oh, yeah. All right.
G&R plugged there. All right. Your bass player what?
Met Lemmy at the bar there.
Really?
Hung out with him, smoked a joint with him. Fucking
That's awesome. Did he play cards with him?
They played video poker.
Oh, video poker. Did Lemmy have the Ace of Spades?
Oh, damn it. Should have seen it coming.
Come on, dude. Yeah, you should have seen that coming.
I should have seen that one coming.
Ace of Spades. All right,
on this occasion, it was a separate occasion from when Sean had been out there before. We were out there to perform. On rare occasions, the Rainbow will let bands perform shows on their third floor, second or third floor, or whatever. It's not like typically a live music venue per se, but they will allow events to go on in the one area. And it just so happened that we had a show set up when we first got into town, and we flew in like that day, whatever day of the week it was. We flew in that day early. We had a drummer come with us that was he was a substitute for the band, actually. He was subbing for our main drummer who couldn't make it, unfortunately. And his name's Taylor Wade. He's the guy that was filling in. Taylor, formerly of a band called Fat City Reprise, a Sony band. You've heard of Fat City?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Taylor's out there with us. He and I have the same ism. We start getting drunk early. We start getting drunk on the fucking plane on the way out. We're drinking all day, turning this into a marathon, knowing full well that we've never played together, but we're still going to have to put on a show that night at the Rainbow. So, instead of trying to find somewhere to rehearse or anything, we just keep partying at the Rainbow and meeting all the people we meet, as you do.
Right.
One of them was Ron Jeremy, the pornographic film star.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a guy that we ran into who was I guess when he's not on an official film shoot, it turns out one of his hobbies or habits is to go to places like the Rainbow and just socialize and hang out, and shows up in sweatpants and sells his cock. He's, it's $20 to see it, $50 to touch it, kind of shit like that.
Oh, so prostitution is what that's called.
I mean, I don't know if it's considered prostitution necessarily in that exact vein.
To show, yes. No. But to touch, yes.
Yeah, but it depends. It's a novelty. It's like getting to touch the Stanley Cup when it comes through town, or the Olympic torch, right?
How much did you pay to touch it?
I didn't pay to touch it.
Oh, we let you do it for free? That's awesome. What a fucking guy.
The mistake that I made was there was like rumblings around the bar that he was there, and that he was already, he already had a couple takers, like women that were there, tourists that were there that just like wanted to check out Ron Jeremy's dick for whatever reason. Oh. The mistake I made was shaking his hand when I was introduced to him. So,
I mean, it's the polite thing to do.
It's the polite thing to do, but it was greasy as fuck, dude.
Oh.
I remember it being the slimiest hand I've ever shaken in my life. And thinking, I just got 40 years of fucking Hollywood pornography on my hand. I need to get to a bathroom right away. Right, immediately. Like, I instantly regretted it. It's a damn good thing the flu wasn't going around that week, ladies and gentlemen.
The coronavirus. I don't know. That's a different kind of virus, I think. It's
I don't know which ones he's got going on. I didn't want to find out. I washed my hands thoroughly.
Yes.
Instantly regretted the handshake. My personal habits are usually, I wash my hands 3-4 times a day at least. You just, you use the restroom. You do. I used to have that kind of ignorant quip where I would be like, my dick ain't dirty. What do I got to wash my hands for after I take a piss? Like, my dick's not dirty. What's the problem? But now, it's like I am more conscious of it. I always actually do wash my hands, especially in public,
I've gotten better with it in the past couple of weeks. The
past couple of weeks.
Well, no, not that I was bad with it. Hold on a minute. Give me a minute. Not that I was bad with it. Not that I didn't wash my hands, but I've been more conscious.
Steven Starr is actually looking for a guy to run his new restaurant space, and I think you're out of the running now.
Yeah. Yep. That's all right.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think I was in the running to begin with.
I just wanted to tell that little Ron Jeremy story and about how skeeved the fuck out I was. Oh man.
I never got to meet Ron Jeremy. There's a lot of people that I never got to meet.
Big loss.
We could spend a lot of episodes just talking about who we haven't met. There's more people I haven't met.
Oh my God, dude. We've had some good opportunities in Bong Hits because it's an original band and we can go on tour, if we choose to. We haven't lately. We're staying mainly in the Philadelphia area. But you guys can definitely still check us out online on all the regular platforms. But that brings me to the thing where we talked about this a little bit earlier too. It's original music and it really takes a little sacrifice to get out there, and it does allow for some cool stories to be had and told. But the main thing is to think about is like the steadiness that you can work. Original musicians, if they want to become a touring act or if they want to like maintain a steady career income-wise, you got to hit a high bar. You got to be over a threshold. You have to have management. You have to have representation, marketing, all that kind of stuff. You got to share your income with everybody involved. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to hear, like you and a lot of folks that we're friendly with in this area have carved out this great career playing cover songs. doing your tributes to different artists. And that's steady work that a lot of original artists don't have the opportunity to have. There's that age-old thing between the cover band and the original band that, are you selling out, or where's your heart, where's your integrity? And it's like, well, it's in my fucking bank account. That's where my fucking heart and my integrity are right now, because I'm getting paid every night,
I started out as an original musician, and
we talked about
music,
that,
and it got to a point, and I remember I was working at a restaurant, surprise, surprise. This was circa 2003.
Okay.
And the bartender.
You must have been, what, 5, 6 years old?
Something like that, yeah. We'll go with that. And the bartender, who was a drummer in a band called the Rockets at the time.
Oh, yeah. The Rockets are renowned in our region.
His name was Jimmy Wooten. Great drummer. He's actually doing a lot of original stuff, and I follow him on Facebook and all now. And haven't really spoken with him in a lot of years. But 2003, he says, it's not about selling out. It's about, like, you always dreamed about being a rock star. Well, you get to a certain age and the dream kind of starts to, diminish.
For sure.
And,
for sure. Because most of the quote unquote rock stars that we've been aware of, even currently, even like modern rock artists who actually blow up, it's happening in their 20s.
Yeah.
And if it's not happening in your 20s, maybe you sneak through in your 30s, but you're not going to be some rock god beyond that.
Right.
To the young people who are consuming that entertainment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it stands to reason that Jimmy would take that angle with you. And
well, he said to me, the words he said to me was, well, it's too late for you to be a rock star. You might as well be a local rock star.
Right.
Which is funny because now he's like on tour and I'm like,
he found a way anyway.
Well, he was a much better musician than I'll ever be. So
Jimmy Wooten, I've definitely heard that name
good
an
dude.
Awful lot. I don't think I don't think I ever had the pleasure of working with him, but
he's a good dude. But
that happens a lot with the quote unquote scene in New Jersey and Philadelphia. I was on a podcast with this kid Cassius. He does a podcast out of Ontario. This was specifically for promoting the Bong Hits album when it came out, and we got into this same kind of conversation because he's a kid from Canada. He doesn't understand or know much about our region, Philadelphia area and New Jersey, and all that kind of stuff. And I was trying to break it down for him, and he's like, "Well, what's the scene there?" I'm like, "Well, the scene, if you look at it one way, it's kind of fractured. Like, you've got college kids doing house parties." More or less, house shows, playing their original music, which nowadays is like Skid Row throwbacks and pop punk, Blink-182 style stuff. And then you've got this and you got that. And I was like, the main thing is, like, there's the covers versus the originals, and that was kind of always the way it was growing up. But there were times when it all flowed together, and I think we're back on one of those. And the reason I say that is because some of the artists that I've, grown up as peers, like performance shows with in original bands, are now doing tribute shows. They're not playing like a full-on top 40 cover thing. They're in a Soundgarden tribute band playing on Friday, and then playing the same venue or one next to it with their original music the next night.
Right.
And things are still kind of like... it's unifying in that way, that things are still kind of like having their own it's still an overall identity of a scene. For a while, it was definitely like completely split up and broken up. If you're either going to PJ Wellahans or you're going to the Trocadero, and it didn't like cross paths very often.
Last time I was at the Trocadero, which will be the last time I've ever gone to the Trocadero since
R.I.P. there. Trocadero, one of the greatest venues in Philly history.
Yeah, the Trocadero was awesome. But the last time I was there, I went and saw a great tribute band called Brain Damage.
Brain Damage Floyd?
Pink Floyd tribute band.
Yeah.
Awesome. And actually, a buddy of mine that I grew up with, named Ryan, he was one of the guitar players, and it was awesome. Also, the last time I did LSD.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How fitting.
It was. Well, yeah. It wasn't a good idea.
No?
No.
You didn't enjoy the LSD at the Brain Damage Pink Floyd tribute show?
I did for that hour and a half, yeah. But it was the
then
other
after.
8 hours. It was the other 8 hours, and I was like, oh man.
I can't get off this ride just because the show's over.
Well, a band called Still Your Face opened up for them, and they were
I know those guys
yeah,
very
okay.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were a Grateful Dead tribute band, obviously, and they played, and then and that's when the drugs kicked in.
We were,
But let me tell you
just
something.
outside the Steal Your Face set when the drugs began to take hold.
But trying to navigate through like Chinatown back to the speed line.
Oh my
trying
God.
to navigate like having, and now you got to understand, I hadn't done any kind of hallucinogenic drugs in 20 years.
is that right?
And it just so happened to like fall on my lap. This is about 2 years ago. It just so happened to like fall.
Oh, that's pretty recent. That's right before the truck shut down.
Yeah. And it was like, I got this opportunity and I was like, and man, I contemplated this for like 2 weeks. I'm like, no, I can't do that. Oh my God, I haven't done that since I was a kid. Like, there's no way. And yeah, sure enough.
It is important to be in the right scenario to enjoy the experience.
Right.
And in the venue was the right scenario.
It was everything
You
other
didn't
than
have
that.
an exit plan.
Right.
You didn't have a
Yeah.
sanctuary to
I did not think
to
it.
get back
I
to.
did not think it through.
Let that be a lesson, kids.
Yes.
If you're going to do some hallucinogenics, it will for your mind. You will have a great time. Have a goddamn exit plan. Have a sanctuary. Don't make it so that you find yourself in the middle of Center City, Philadelphia, or Chinatown,
Yeah.
not knowing which direction to get home. I did the exact same thing more than once. I was a teenager. It turned into the worst trip I've ever had, man. Oh, it was so bad. And I was with friends. I had like chaperones, so to speak, you know. But it was just too much variables.
Yeah.
Not enough of the sit and enjoy the experience, you know, because that's what it all comes down to, that stuff.
I will say, for the most part, it was a fun night. It was a fun night for the most part. But
Right.
just that whole experience.
It ended a little rough, but you did have that good window, that chunk of time where you got to enjoy those two bands.
Oh, man, the sound and the lights were awesome.
Yeah.
It was great. And
It
it's-
reminds me of the Godspell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. A little throwback to episode 2 of the It's the Even Steven and Oddly By the way, as we're recording this, the first thing we did today was actually record the theme music.
That's right. That you will have heard all throughout. Anyway.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little wonky. What day of the week do you think we should be throwing this thing out there to the people?
Maybe Thursdays?
You think
Or,
Thursdays?
Or Wednesdays. Do you think that's too short for
I like it
post-production?
early in the week.
I like it early in the week, too.
I prefer it early in the week because I'd rather people be able to consume it when they're done work on a day of the week, you know, a Monday or a Tuesday, that they're just chilling.
Right.
Thursdays and Fridays, it tends to get lost, and then like it might not, like, you know, they might not notice it for, you know, by the time that they go to check.
How
What
about
do you think?
Tuesday night at 8 o'clock?
Tuesdays at 8?
It worked for Growing Pains.
I love that. My Tuesdays feel like Fridays, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
That works.
Every day feels like Friday. And so does yours, you fucking liar.
This is so true. But I don't want to make anybody feel bad. Well, you can welcome, you know, take a peek into our world where every day does feel like a Friday. Mark, tell them where you're at. What's your verticals?
I just have one vertical at the moment, until the summer anyway. Every Thursday, Mount Royal Inn.
Mount Royal Inn is going to be
Right here in our
we hope
backyard
our
here.
first sponsor. You can show
Yes.
these guys.
MRI,
Mount
baby.
Royal Inn is in Mount Royal, New Jersey.
Yes.
It's just outside of Philadelphia. It is one of the oldest taverns. Is the year on it?
Well, I know the year is actually 1762.
It's been around since 1762, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been around that long for a reason, because it is your hometown bar. It's a great place to hang out.
There's a rumor that it's not so the date on the bar is 1762, but there's a rumor that it was actually 1726 and it was put up wrong. But I don't know.
I believe that. I believe dyslexia existed in the colonial era.
Well, I mean, you're just the equivalent of typos. I'd have to ask Mike Genepro, the bartender
Typo.
there.
You have to make it all the way through painting.
Well, no, it's not painted. It's actually numbers that are
Carved in?
well, not carved in. It's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know what the right word for it is. It's like actual
Do you
like
think that
stencil numbers.
So the person that fucked it up didn't fuck it up in 1726. It's been like a reproduction of the.
That's what my guess. I'd have to ask
Okay.
Mike Genepro because he actually has been working there since the opening of.
Gotcha.
Just kidding, Mike.
That went over my head at first. He's been working there since it opened.
I've been waiting for that joke, and I'm like, this is gold, and it just went over.
I'm so sorry. I
completely
wish I knew it was coming.
No, it's all right. Well, that's why we don't script it, so that way it's
man.
there's some air of surprise. But yeah, so
I'm going to go drink some liquor. I hope that you guys enjoy the Even Steven and Oddly Mark show. We're going to do it every night at Tuesday. Every night.
Jesus Christ.
We're going to edit that last second. We're going to go every Tuesday. You're going to be able to check this thing out. We got a couple in the bag, so you're going to see a few coming at you. And hit us up, please. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Google and the Apple pages. Let your friends know about it because I think we're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing this for a while, and we're here to stay, and we'd love to get a little momentum with it. I think, and I haven't even brought this up to you, but I think in the near future, maybe some guest appearances.
I actually love it. I love it.
Sound like a good plan? Like
I have some
maybe-
people that I already think would love to do our show.
Awesome.
You know?
So yeah,
Maybe some
we're
local
gonna
musicians.
expand. Maybe we'll do a little. We'll do a little gaming contest, interactive type stuff. Anything to keep it interesting, and hope that you guys have a good time with us because we're having a good time. I could have fun standing still.
Yes.
I don't know, but
So Tuesday night, but then it'll be on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it whenever you want.
guys, Even Steven, Oddly Mark, we're out.
See ya.
It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark show.